Today's thrift transformations are autumn-inspired home decor dupes that were really cheap to make, but look so high-end. Hey there, welcome to the Schwowin's Nest. My name is Sandra, and I'm so glad you're here. I got this wooden clock for $6.99, mostly for the round wood frame, and I thought I might use the clock parts too, but not today. I took it all apart and was left with this gorgeous wooden circle. Using some half beads from my local dollar store, I lined them up first to make sure they would all fit, then used weld bond glue with a small brush to attach them to the frame. The process took a bit of time, but it was well worth it. I did leave it overnight to dry to make sure that the weld bond glue had cured. I wanted to stain it, so I had sanded it a little bit before adding the beads. And I thought the Dixie Belle Van Dyke brown glaze would be dark enough. But as you can see, it's really not making too much of a difference on the original wood. So, change of plan. I grabbed the salmon dark walnut water-based stain, put a bit in a cup, added some water to dilute the color just a little, and used that instead. This color was much better and it was more of what I was looking for. While it was drying, I used my X-Tool laser cutting and engraving machine to create a backing for the frame, which you can see in the top left corner. Then I went to my computer and browsed through the Creative Fabrica website to find the perfect image. This wall art from the antique farmhouse is so pretty. I love the pheasant and the subtle colors are perfect for autumn decor. However, it's listed for $64 and there's no way I would ever spend that much for a piece of wall art. I printed the image off using regular copy paper, then glued that onto a piece of cardstock with a glue stick. Now I'll use Mod Podge on the wood round to glue the image down. To attach the wood round into the frame, I'm going to push it down about 1/8 of an inch so I can use hot glue to secure it. I made sure that the glue touched both the wood round and the frame too. I also used Mod Podge on the front of the image to make sure that it was all sealed in, and it also just gives it more of a professional look. Then I added a sawtooth hanger to the back. Here's a side-by-side view of the antique farmhouse art for $64 and mine for about $10. I also think the beads add a nice touch too. I just love it when I find two pieces out thrifting that fit together perfectly, even though they were purchased months apart. This pewter taper candle holder has just the right amount of weathering. A little bit of rust and some discoloration make it perfect for my decor style. I'm simply going to glue the hurricane onto the holder using E6000 for a strong, permanent hold, and it's done. This was my inspiration from Pottery Barn, an $89 chamber stick hurricane candle holder. Although this one is antique gold and quite stunning, I like the color and shape of mine better. Plus, it was only $9. Here's another simple project that looks so expensive. This swan was a $2 find at Goodwill. It's a souvenir piece from Nova Scotia. After cleaning it really well, I'm going to spray paint it black as a base coat. This will also help the paint I want to use stick better. I got this antique brass paint from Michaels, and to me it's more of a gold shade, but it works perfectly for the look I'm going for. Here's a swan catchall from Ballard Designs on sale for $27. Using a sponge brush to apply the paint will give the swan more texture, and this particular paint works best this way instead of using a brush, although I did have to use a brush for the inside and behind the neck. There were also some areas where I needed to use the brush first and then go over it with the sponge to get the texture. I did 2 coats, and in some areas, there were spots where I needed to go over it a third time, and this is how it turned out. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous and very similar to the Ballard Designs one. Finding this riser was like I hit the jackpot. I was looking for one with these details for so long, and I finally found one. It's made of heavy resin, so not that great quality, but it will look so amazing once I'm done with it. Starting off with Spanish moss paint from Dixie Belle and using a really good brush, 1 coat will cover all of the white here on the bottom and the black on the top. I'm using some little wood Jenga blocks to hold this riser up because there are some areas where I'm going to need to get right down underneath it. It sort of curls around at the bottom. This brush is perfect because I'll be able to get into all the nooks and crannies, bringing all those details to life. I think this probably would have looked really pretty just with this color, but I'm still going to take it one step further. Next, I'm going to use milk paint, a bit of white and a bit of toasted coconut, which is sort of an off-white shade, to achieve a light off-white shade. Keeping the paint really thick allowed me to add lots of texture while still being able to see the carved areas. I found it very easy to use one of these little silicone face mask applicators from the Dollar Tree to really mix up the milk paint. I've been using a plastic knife, but I think I'm going to switch to this because I really like how smooth it turned out. Using a cheap dollar store brush for this application simply because sometimes the milk paint gets into the bristles so much that I can't get them clean. And this way I won't ruin my good brushes. Applying the milk paint quite thick and leaving some of the base coat showing through gave this riser a really vintage and found look, like some of the paint was chipping off from age. Here's the inspiration for this decor dupe. Priced at $78, it's a found carved wood pillar base, very unique in its shape and style. Although I used some different colors on my riser base, I do like the look of both. But since mine was only $7, I like it even better. Once all the paint had completely dried, I went over it with a coat of matte spray paint in clear just to seal everything in and stop it from chipping when it was handled. This picture was $5.99, way too expensive for the condition it was in. All of the gold had come off of the edges and the handle, and even some of the color was missing. But I knew I was going to do something with it, so I got it for the shape. Using a sponge brush again and Dixie Belle chalk mineral paint in the color drop cloth, I'm going to do 2 coats for full coverage. Lately, I have been drawn to floral designs on my projects. Not sure if it's because of summer or if I'm just getting into English cottage style decor. So for this one, I'm using some DTF stickers that have a high shine to them. They came from Temu. They have so many options for transfers and stickers, and they're so pretty. This was my inspiration, the Pottery Barn Green Floral Vase Collection. The small one is only 5.5 inches high and it retails for $39.50. Altogether, with the stickers, my decor piece is going to turn out only for $10. The stickers have a backing that comes off easily if you bend one of the corners down. I decided to create my own pattern with the images, using larger ones first, then filling in the spaces with smaller ones, then cutting some into even smaller pieces to create the look I wanted. I sealed the picture with 2 coats of gloss clear spray paint to make it look more like a ceramic piece. Here's the Pottery Barn version for $99.50 for a 9-inch vase, and mine for just under $10. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these really cheap autumn-inspired home decor dupes that look high-end without the high price tag. If you're new to my channel and haven't yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that red button and stick around a while. See you in the next one.